Hello and welcome to PCB Chat, the podcast for the printed circuit design, manufacturing, and electronics supply chain. I'm Mike Buetow, Editor-in-Chief of PCD&F and Circuits Assembly. Today, we launch a new feature of PCB Chat called The Week Today, where we catch you up on all the latest happenings in the industry. Our top story: after a near miss last year, Spartan has found a suitor. The ODM EMS on Wednesday announced a definitive agreement to be acquired by private equity firm Cerberus Capital Management. Cerberus will pay $18.50 a share in cash for all outstanding shares of Spartan's common stock, putting the purchase price at about $181.5 million. The transaction is subject to Spartan shareholder approval, antitrust clearance, and other customary closing conditions, and is expected to close in the first quarter 2019. Interim President and Chief Executive of Spartan, Joe Harnett, said, "In addition to delivering immediate value to our shareholders, this transaction provides Spartan with a long-term partner that is focused on building our strong platform. Cerberus is recognized as a leading investor in global technology and manufacturing companies that brings significant operational expertise, in addition to its financial capital and acumen. Together, we will be able to capitalize on strategic growth opportunities while continuing to meet the needs of our customers by delivering high-quality, innovative solutions and services." Last year, Spartan had reached an agreement to be acquired by Ultra Electronics, with whom it operates a joint venture building sonobuoys. In March, however, the U.S. Navy, a major customer, recommended the U.S. Department of Justice block the deal, ending the acquisition attempt. Earlier this year, Cerberus announced it would acquire a 70% ownership stake in the defense business of Navistar. No doubt Spartan will see some opportunity for synergy there. In international news, the arrest and possible extradition of a high-ranking Huawei official should be of concern to anyone doing business abroad. Canada rolled up Meng Wanzhou at the request of the U.S. government, which cited an unsealed indictment against the Huawei CFO. U.S. intelligence agencies widely believe Huawei is a front for the Chinese government, in part because its founder, Meng's father, is a former Chinese intelligence officer. Huawei denies the charges, but the U.S. knows of what it accuses. In 1999, no less an entity than the Taliban had approved a plan for Afghan wireless communications, essentially a front for the American government, to build out the phone and internet system in Afghanistan. If not for infighting in the U.S. government, America could have had that entire country tapped. The arrest is bound to have a domino effect as other nations line up to wreak havoc on strategic competitors to their respective domestically based corporations. Or will it? This has been standard operating procedure for China for years. Whereas Moscow specializes in kidnappings for ransom, that's Finance 101 compared to China's doctoral dissertation. China's motive is longer in range, and the detainment is longer in duration. What prevents many companies from acting in such rash fashion is the inevitable broadside to their reputation. China doesn't mind the public relations hit, provided its broader objectives are met. And that objective is complete control over its economy and security. To the Chinese government, gulags are a feature, not a bug. When contemplating these latest events, consider these issues. 1. The U.S. indicated it wants Meng for violating sanctions on selling gear to Iran. What happens the next time an adversary decides to nab an American? Who has the moral high ground? Do we trust the government, any government, to take it at its word? And what will be the cost to U.S. businesses that do, or want to do, business in China? 2. How far is the U.S. willing to go in terms of disclosing what it knows about Huawei's operations? Sometimes it's more useful to allow the behavior to continue in order to monitor it surreptitiously. Also, alerting others could give them a leg up on determining where their vulnerabilities lie and lead them to close those gaps. 3. There's a trade war going on between the U.S. and China. No, really. Causing several major electronics ODMs to consider relocating factories from both nations, not to mention higher cost to consumers. Some, like Foxconn chairman Terry Gu, think the effects will last for years. Will Meng's arrest lead to further economic isolation and barriers among the world's two largest economies? In other business news, Sigmatron reported fiscal second quarter revenues of $77 million, up 5.5% year-over-year. President and Chief Executive Gary Fairhead said, "While we experienced good revenue growth, which occurred near the end of the second quarter, we will begin the third quarter facing major challenges as a result of the trade dispute between the United States and China." He added that customers are delaying payment as they review tariff billings, and trade disputes create significant additional paperwork and administration. Many of the EMS firm's customers are reassessing their supply chains. The company is beginning to see signs the tariffs are starting to negatively affect projected revenue into 2019, a trend it forecasts will accelerate during the third quarter. On a positive note, Sigmatron reports some improvement in component lead times, although prices are not falling and in some cases continue to increase. Moltec named Reza Meshkin Chief Executive effective December 1st. Outgoing Chief Executive Frank Lies has decided to move into an advisory role with DSBJ, Moltec's parent company. Meshkin has been the President and Chief Executive of MFlex for over 10 years, and he retains those titles. In product news, Alpha Assembly released OM355, an ultra-low voiding solder paste designed for vacuum solder reflow. And ANSYS developed ECXML, which stands for Electronics Cooling XML, an open neutral file format that makes it possible to share design models among different thermal simulation toolsets. This has been The Week Today with Mike Buetow. For PCB Chat, have a nice day.